So it's Saturday, it's the weekend, and it's looking like the start of a hell weekend, to be honest. An update from when I got pulled over. I was actually driving without registration, it turns out. So today, in about half an hour, I've got a blue slip appointment, which is pretty much like an MOT to get your car sorted. But because my car plates are from Queensland, I have to get them switched over to New South Wales, which is a whole other expense and complication. So I guess I'm going to take you through that today. Take you through my stress, take you through me really not enjoying this weekend, and on top of that I've got other work to do as well. So as I'm driving, I'm just thinking this whole scenario probably cost me most of the money that I have or have at my disposal to get Greg legally back on the road. I know I'm driving now, but you're allowed to legally drive to a mechanic's to get it sorted. And if I can ask one thing of Greg, Norman, it's please just be okay, just be normal, don't have problems. I know it's 20s, I know he's 20 years old, but I need him to work for me right now, just today of all days. Here at Jack's Tires, getting the car serviced.
G'day Marina out of Jazz, how you going? Okie dokie. So Bush's and service, as you know, we just recommend a flush kit, or just get an upper split, which is also known as a follow-on. With the 409, 149, you can get all that done in 731. That's with everything that I've already tried to do with the Bush's. Just with the service, we recommend a flush kit, OVD health check, which is a get scan. Personally, I think that's a bit of an overthing, and a bottle body clean. So personally, I would recommend.
There's old Greg right there in the thing. He's back. So back home, got the news from the mechanics. Pretty much Greg failed on all these issues. Don't know if it'll expose correctly, but you can see all these, that list. Front shocks, rear transmission, speedo sensor leaking, upper and lower engine sump leaking oil, transmission pan gasket leaking oil. And he pretty much said to me, he's like, look, I couldn't even give you a quote for this right now. If I'll give you a ring to see how much the damage would cost to repair it. But I'm just like, when he says that, I'm like, oh. So, I don't know what to do. Need a rethink really, but God, this car's been so good to me, and it runs fine. It clearly runs fine. Like, I mean, I've driven it up and down the country with no issues. But obviously it's an issue for the Road Standards Agency, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna have to think of a new plan. Whether it's maybe this is the time that it's gonna have to be. If that quote comes back on Monday and it's just more than the car's worth, then effectively Greg is dead. Not to me. He's always been my friend. But on the day that I needed him to come through, my God, did he flop? Yeah. Day 2, and after some careful consideration, I think old Greg here either needs to be sold for parts or scrapped. And I'll go into an explanation a bit later on as to why I've come to that conclusion. But as for now, I need to take some photos with my. Phone to list this guy on Gumtree. So it's a sad day, but it's a practical thing to do. Saying goodbye to old Greg here. Yeah, it's day 3 of the whole episode of the car and the stress of the weekend. It's Monday and the stress is not over. Just to let everyone know, I thought I'd fill everyone in that kind of have succumbed now that Greg is not fixable in my budget, or effectively how much he's worth is not how much it would cost to fix and then register. So poor Greg, old Norman, I have to get rid of. So First things first, I've put an ad up on Gumtree. You can see old Greg on the screen there, and what it says is I'm selling for parts, which is for about $1,000. So not losing too much on how much I paid for it, which is about $1,500. But selling it for parts because apparently Ford parts are hard to come by in Australia. A lot of Japanese cars are easy to get here, but American cars are almost like imports. Again, I'm doing the whole shoulder thing. What's up? and I'm losing all my games as well, so it's not like I'm showing off. Yeah, but and also because it's 20 years old, some of those parts that were in these cars are harder to come by. So I'm assuming there's a bit of value in that. If not, if it doesn't even sell on Gumtree, I'm going to take them to the scrap and really bury the guy. Bury the guy, bury the car. Bury my friend. Bury the machine that's took me up and down the whole of Australia. And bury what's actually been the most reliable thing so far of this trip. You know, if I've had nowhere to go or stay, or if I couldn't afford a place to stay, sorry I do have an itch here, then Greg was always, I could always stay in the back of Greg. That sounds strange. I could always stay in the back of the car, and for 2 weeks when I first got to Sydney I did that. I stayed in the back of the car, and it doubled up as a house, and it's sad to see that go, but also I'm so glad I bought the car, you know, and for the price it cost, it was so worth it. So, but now I'm kind of established in a place which about 6-7 weeks ago I could only have dreamed of being. It's now time to get a smaller runaround car. I don't need to sleep in the back of cars anymore. I don't, you know, so I'm selling it on Gumtree, and in about 15 minutes I'm getting picked up by an Uber to go to a car hire shop, and I'm hiring a small hairdresser's car for 2 weeks just to get me by, because I've got a lot of work on over the next 2 weeks, and then hopefully I'll buy something new. But now, after the first experience of buying Greg, I know kind of what to look for. I know what I have to do for registration, and I'll definitely get the car checked over before I buy anything. So I'm a lot more wiser, a lot more older, and a lot more stressed. I've grown this beard, like I said, over the weekend out of sheer stress. But you know what? It doesn't look too bad on camera. Let me know what you think. If I look like I've put weight on with the beard, or not. And anyway, yeah, let's go and pick up the new car. Europe car, getting a new car, brand new car for rent. Sun's going down. £500 for 2 weeks with the excess, so I'm fully covered. The new whip. Alright. Yeah, no damage. All good, all clean. Okay, awesome. Gee whiz. Watch me whip, watch me. And ain't it this little beauty Kia? Actually, literally brand new, 5K on the clock here. Bloody lovely this. We'll be pulling in this. This is my car for the next couple of weeks. Yes, it's got a USB adapter. It doesn't have an aux cable, but I'm sure it's got Bluetooth, so I'm gonna sit here and figure it out for a second. But this is unreal. Look at that dash. For a rental car, it's compared to what I'm used to, it's pretty swanky. But yeah, time to get home and calibrate my Steadicam for the shoot tomorrow. So, and see if anyone's wanted to take Greg off my hands. So yeah, time to go. I just made it home, a nice hour-long drive or something like that. This car, I'm sure it must just be it's a Kia, right? And it can't, if it's a rental car, it can't be too much. And for a Kia, aren't they like the cheapest, one of the cheapest cars? But absolutely, compared to old Greg out the front there, bless you, Greg, you've done. Ew, so sat here editing the video. Look at this. There's me, bit of vlogception that is, an edit within an edit. but noticed I must have pressed record or something like that to stop recording right when I was sat in the car. Just saying how much I love the car. I felt like Batman driving through the streets. It's probably just a shitty normal car, but because I'm used to how Greg drives, it actually just feels the boy. Yeah, just calibrated all my stuff here, got all my stuff ready for tomorrow's shoot, and I've got an interview / meeting tomorrow with another company to do some work for them, so it's all going down this week. Anyway, I've got to be up at 6 AM tomorrow to leave for 6:30, and I've got to finish this edit for all you guys to see. So yeah, I'll see you in the next vlog, which is probably tomorrow, because this time I'm going to Bondi Beach and no one's going to stop me.